What's going on, guys? It's Steve. The Golden State Warriors are the scariest team. Is the scariest team I have ever seen in my life. Now, I grew up in the best era in NBA history with the Spurs, the Boston Celtics, the Los Angeles Lakers, the Miami Heat, even LeBron's Cavaliers, the Orlando Magic. Just a whole bunch of great teams. Okay, Orlando really had only like 2 good years, but you know what I'm saying. The Detroit Pistons, pretty much Duncan's era, Paul Pierce, KG, Kobe, LeBron, Wade, Melo, etc. That era, right? So I grew up in that era, and I've seen Kobe's Lakers. I've seen my most hated team ever, Paul Pierce's Boston Celtics. You want to know why I hate them so much? 2008, defeat my favorite team back at the time. Well, not my favorite team, but my favorite player back at the time. Y'all gonna call me out for saying that. My favorite player, LeBron James, eliminating him. Paul Pierce doing his thing. 2009, LeBron losing to the Orlando Magic. 2010, losing to Boston again. And I hated the Boston Celtics, okay? And then I saw the Miami Heat era. Here's the thing. I'm going to break down what was scary about each team. The Boston Celtics, what was scary is defensively, they were the best team in the NBA. But it's not only that. It was Paul Pierce's offense, which was absolutely off this charts. One of the clutchest players I have ever seen in my lifetime. Gave LeBron his run for his money and outplayed LeBron on numerous occasions, which is ridiculous. And Paul Pierce doesn't get enough recognition because he's a great small forward, top 10 small forward ever. Most people don't even consider him a top 10 small forward, which is absolutely bananas. But that's besides the point. So Boston back in the day, defensively they would knock you out, but Paul Pierce offensively is ridiculous. And then on top of that, add Ray Allen that could get hot like crazy from three. Ridiculous, okay? And that was post-prime Ray Allen. Keep that in mind. Anyway, so the Boston Celtics were deadly there. The Los Angeles Lakers, also a great defensive team. But what was so deadly about them was their offense. They could strike you from anywhere. Derek Fisher could take over at any second, clutch, hit a clutch three, do what he needs to do, play make. You have Pau Gasol and Andrew Bynum. By the way, Andrew Bynum could have had a really good career if it weren't for that injury during bowling, but unfortunately, just like Brandon Roy, things happen. Or you could say Greg Oden, but Brandon Roy and Andrew Bynum kind of proved themselves more than Greg Oden did because he only proved himself in college, and NBA is a way whole nother level than college. Anyway, so, the Lakers, Andrew Bynum and Pau Gasol, the best front court at that time, could knock you out. And then on top of that, you had the best scorer at the time in the world and one of the best players ever, top 10 ever, in Kobe Bryant, who could knock you out at any second. He could guard the 1 through 3 positions, or point guard, shooting guard, small forward. He could take over and shut down he could drop 60 on you any given night. Ridiculous, okay? Absolutely ridiculous. Okay, the Cleveland Cavaliers back in, I would say from 07, 08 to 2010, back in LeBron's real good era back there with the Cavaliers when he went to the conference, to the NBA Finals, and then the the semifinals actually, and then the conference finals, and then the semifinals again. But LeBron James would take over at any given moment. Okay, you had LeBron that could shoot the basketball, drive the basketball, dunk on you, take over defensively, play make. You had that pick and roll with Anderson Varejao that was lethal. You had that pick and pop with Zydrunas Ilgauskas. If you want to go to 2010 with Shaq, that pick and roll down low to Shaq. You can go with Anton Jameson, the pick and pop. You can go with Delonte West, Anthony Parker, Mo Williams, Daniel Boobie Gibson. Great shooters and passers surrounded him. He actually had pretty solid players around him. Not superstars, but some pretty solid players. So he could hit you. That team could hit you from anywhere, okay? Shooting, three-pointers, dunking, and offense and defense, okay? But, and let's talk about the Miami Heat actually as well. The Miami Heat, you have LeBron, Wade, and Bosh. You know where they're going to hit you from. And by the way, they're actually pretty good defensively too. So defensively and offensively, but you knew where it was coming from, okay? And then you want to talk about the Cavaliers now. You know where the offense is going to be generated from. LeBron James, he's the facilitator, he's the scorer, he's the everything. If you see Channing Frye at the corner, just standing there, and you see LeBron, do not step in and help LeBron because he's going to kick it out to Channing Frye. Channing Frye's going to hit that three. Or if you see Kyrie Irving at the top, it's ISO time. If you see Kevin Love at the post, it's ISO time. If you see Kevin Love and LeBron working that pick and pop, it's shooting time. You know where it's going to come from. The Oklahoma City Thunder in the Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook era. Defensively with Serge Ibaka, you have your shooters in Anthony Morrow. You know, even they had Derek Fisher at one point. You have Kevin Durant, one of the most lethal scorers in NBA history, possibly the best scorer in NBA history. You have Russell Westbrook, a triple-double machine. Okay? You have the San Antonio Spurs with Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili. We can go all the way back to 2002, whatever we want to go to. That team was lethal, one of the most dominant teams ever, won a championship in 3 different decades. Tim Duncan's the second player to ever do that in NBA history. You know where it was coming from. Okay, so now that we got all of those teams out of the way, what separates the Golden State Warriors from all of those teams? The Golden State Warriors, you literally have no clue who is going to be hot that night. In other words, you don't know where you're gonna get they're gonna kill you from. You don't know where you're gonna get it. You don't know which player is gonna kill you. You don't know where you're gonna get really get your ass kicked from. You don't know which direction. It could be Draymond Green having an incredible less than 10-point triple-double. You could have Kevin Durant drop 50 or 60 on you. You could have Stephen Curry drop 50 on you. You could have Klay Thompson drop 50 on you. You could have Klay Thompson score 30 in a quarter. You could have the Golden State Warriors score 50 points in a quarter like they did last night against the Los Angeles Clippers. This team, you have no idea where they're going to get you from. And there is absolutely nothing you can do to try and slow down this team. I came up with a video, and I gave my insight on what's potentially a way you can try and slow them down. Will it work? Possibly. I'm a basketball genius. Let me stop. I hope you guys know, like, when I make these videos and I say crazy stuff, I guess it still doesn't register to some people, but I'm just messing around. I already told you guys, I don't want to be a boring YouTuber that sits there and says things like, oh, he's a great player, this, and that. I like to point out flaws in people because everyone always points out the good things, which is a good thing, but it's also good to point out flaws so those players can get better, which is why, people get salty at me, but that's all good, man. It's all good. That's why I have really good viewer retention, because you guys love me and I love you. Anyway, back to the topic. You don't know. And actually, I do know a lot about basketball. It's just, I don't, whatever. Anyway, y'all about to hear some knowledge, though. Anyway, you don't know where they're going to get you from. You absolutely have no idea where they're going to get you from. At all. For example, you could have, last night in the third quarter, Stephen Curry was absolutely unfreaking guardable. Unguardable. Did you see that play? I don't know who was guarding him. I think it was Raymond Felton. There was a pick set. I don't remember who said it. Probably Draymond Green. And it was at the left elbow. So Stephen Curry, between the legs, behind the back, and he pushed off a little on the help. And Raymond Felton was behind him, and I don't remember who was in front of him. It could have been DeAndre. I don't know who it was. But Stephen Curry just launched the three and won. 4-point play. This guy is ridiculous. And then to end the third quarter at the buzzer beater, and I wasn't even going to watch the game, to be honest. I was tired. I'm happy I did. And then to end the quarter at the buzzer, Stephen Curry hits a ridiculous three where he lost the ball at first. He recovered it, triple teams, throws it up, and this isn't him dribbling from his left. This is him dribbling from his right, from 5 feet behind the three-point line. That makes it even harder because, again, you have to turn your body to align your elbow with the basket or shoulder, whatever you like to align. It's the same exact thing, or whatever you like to say. But he had to turn his shoulder to align himself with the basket, which makes it even harder, and he's fading. That's why you usually fade away when you go right and you're righty shooter. That's why I say you shouldn't force LeBron to shoot left because it's easier for him. Force him to, lean when he shoots. It makes it harder. Anyway, Stephen Curry hit that shot, and I was blown away. I was like, what in the freaking world? And then you had Kevin Durant a few minutes earlier with that obnoxious dunk on everyone. There's no way who is going to be hot. For example, it could be Klay Thompson that's hot and everyone else cold. They could still beat you. It could be Stephen Curry that's hot. Everyone else cold. They'll still whoop your ass. It could be Kevin Durant that's hot. Everyone else is cold. They'll still beat you. It could be Draymond Green that wants to have a 30-point night. They'll still beat you while everyone's cold. Or it could be 2 out of the 4 big 4 that are hot, 3 out of the 4, and if it's 4 out of 4, you're done. There's nothing you can do. The Clippers were up, and then to end the quarter, I think they were down by like nearly 20. I think. I may be wrong about that. But it's like, what the freak, man? There's nothing, absolutely nothing anyone can do to stop this team. There is nothing at all possible to stop this team. It's just not possible. This team is the scariest team in NBA history for the simple fact that you have no idea which direction they're going to strike from. It's like a country trying to attack the United States. You don't know where you're going to get hit from. Anyway, guys, this is Steve. I'm out. Peace.